No, I remembered seeing you in Rain Man, but the first character that you played that really made an impact on me were, I think it was because I knew you from Rain Man. When I saw Speed in 1994, it's like, I know her from somewhere. You played Helen, the very uneasy passenger aboard bus 2525 with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. This movie was also kind of my introduction to them. It was right before both of their careers really took off
Hmm.
into, I mean, especially Keanu Reeves
Right.
has transitioned into God-like status.
The biggest action film star, except for Tom Cruise, I guess, right? The two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it like working on that production with them? Because you're pretty much just on a bus with them the whole time, right?
Well, it was great. I mean, it wasn't what we signed on to do. The script was rewritten. It was originally Graham Yost wrote the original script, and it was different. I mean, all of us on the bus had backstories, and for instance, I had a little dog. I had just gotten engaged. I had a great part. We all did. All the 6 or 7 main bus characters all had these stories, and we got picked up at the same bus stop every morning. We all knew each other, very friendly. And Sandy played a girl who was trying to be a stand-up comedian, and I had been to the club to see her show the night before, and I was a hero. I saved the bus driver. He had a heart attack. He didn't get shot. And I volunteered to get off the bus instead of being a whiny coward, who was trying to escape. And Hawthorne James, the bus driver, his getting shot was all the Joss Whedon did the rewrite.
Oh, Joe.
Yeah,
Well,
poor, yeah. Ooh,
I mean, it
tough
was
stuff right now, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's yeah. I was just
Uh,
thinking about that.
I mean, it was a great movie, and your character was great. But your character was one of those. I remember just hollering at the screen like, "Oh my God, just shut up! Shut up! You're gonna get everybody killed!"
I mean, when I went to the premiere, because obviously I hadn't seen the movie, and I thought, oh my God, get her off that bus, that whiner. What about the rest of us? What about the rest of us? Just sit down and shut up and listen. Do follow directions. But and I left the party. I didn't even stay for the party. I was just like, oh, I can't
That's
bear it.
about it.
But I will say that what Jan said to me, and I knew Jan because he had been the DP on Flatliners. And so I knew he was very talented. And he said, I went to him, I said, there's no part. And he said, no, now trust me, this is what the studio wanted, but I'm going to get a lot of coverage of you. We're going to shoot it like a European film. And, it's going to make you famous or whatever. I thought, I'm already famous. I was in Rain Man, whatever. I didn't
Here
say
we
that.
go.
I didn't say that, but the real reason, and I did believe him, but also I fell in love with Sandra Bullock. She and I went to the same college, East Carolina University in North Carolina, and I had been sort of jealous of her because even though I was older, I had been, sort of the uh, biggest name that had come out of the school, and then she came along and she had gotten the lead in a sitcom, and oh, they were just all over themselves about her. And in the alumni, big pictures of her and okay pictures of me. But and this writer in the Raleigh News and Observer said, oh, you'll love her, let me give you her number, she'd love to talk to you. I never called her. And then we're sitting there for the reading in the conference room over at Fox, and we didn't know who was going to be playing that part. And here she walks in. I thought, oh my God, it's that woman from East Carolina University. And then she turned and looked at me. I mean, literally, I fell in love with her. It was just her face lit up. She recognized me. She came over. She was polite. Next thing I know, we're joking, we're laughing, we're screaming. We laughed for the whole movie. She saved me.
Amazing.
She saved me because not having much to do except sit there. And my daughter was 9 months old. I was still breastfeeding and she couldn't come to the set. So I was miserable leaving my daughter at home. I don't know what I would have done without Sandra Bullock. I really don't. And I don't see her very much anymore, but I will always love her. And if she ever needs me in the middle of the night, I'll be there. I owe her.
That was the movie where I fell in love with Sandra Bullock too.
Yes.
As a teenager,
Yeah.
I had an unhealthy obsession where anybody in my family would buy me, if she was in a magazine, anything,
Mm.
they'd buy it for me because they just knew it was. I
Yeah.
actually wrote all of her lines down from Speed. I have
Ah,
no idea why, 'cause this was
I,
before you can just get scripts offline. It was it was
I
it
just
was
want you to
unhealthy.
know this is the first time I've heard the story just like you, so I'm equally as freaked out as you are. Don't think that he tells me
No,
stuff.
well, it's the first time I've ever said it out loud to other adults,
Oh
and
my!
as I'm saying, I'm like, just shut up.
It's too late.
Yeah, don't.
Let me ask you this, because you did say that all you guys had to do was sit there. So I did have a question, because me and him have sometimes thought about it, because we've made films and we've clearly watched a bunch of films. How many days and how long each day would you say you guys were on that bus?
6 weeks, 12 hours a day.
I'd have jumped off. That's that. So it was truly you that walked off, not the character. You're like, I got to get off this thing.
I gotta go. Listen, I felt so bad. Mark Gordon, who's a huge television producer now, was the producer, and he was so sweet. We really did have a good time. I mean, it was because of Sandy and Keanu being the sweetest thing on earth. If we had terrible leads who were prima donnas and not nice to people, it would have been awful. But we didn't. We had her. We had him. Jan was very funny. I mean, he was sometimes terrible to his crew. He would scream, at people, but funny, very funny off camera. And Alan Ruck was so great. We had a great time. But nonetheless, I was so glad when I wrapped. And Mark Gordon had gotten a cake for me. And so he was so excited at lunch to present this cake, and everybody's, cheering and stuff. And I started singing this song. Well, let's see how does it go. A goodbye, goodbye, a goodbye, goodbye, a goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. What is that? Papa's got a brand new bag, I think, right? I gotta go. Anyway. He looked so sad. He had such a little sad leader. He'd given me this cake, and he could tell I could not wait to leave. And it was hot sun on the breaks. We would wait till the sun got in a certain place where it would cool off so we could be outside. And then we were salsa dancing, and we had 4:00 chocolate. And, if we were shooting somewhere that there were children, Sandy would steal candy from the craft services and hand it out to them. And Hawthorne and I were terrible. We just had the best time together telling stories. And one time the crew, we were on the 105 freeway, and they would be on the side because the cameras, we shot with 11 cameras. And at that time, that was really unusual, and a helicopter and all this stuff. And so the bus would go down, but he wasn't really driving the bus. They had other people up on top, and I don't know how all they did it. So when it was time to turn around, you didn't turn the bus around. You just had the other driver drive it. So it was like you were backing up, but of course you weren't. You get it, right?
Yeah.
So I remember once, I was sitting up there, and Hawthorne and I acted like we were making out as we go by the crew, and the crew's going, I mean, we were wicked. We had fun.
That's awesome. That
And
sounds
Keanu was a doll, and he was, hard to get in such good shape, and he was eating brown rice and vegetables, really taking care of himself. It's just so sweet, so sweet.
Why don't you subscribe? It'll last longer.